Some of the content covered may be graphic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Previously on Type 3 TV.
Applewhite claimed he was a direct descendant of Jesus and was the second coming of Christ.
Or the mind that was in Jesus. What? That mind is in me? You'll have to decide that for yourself.
All right, so that was our new format. And welcome to season 2. I'm here with Dan.
Hello.
And Steve Gibson, also known as Buddha.
What's up?
He's got a loudness shirt on. Anyway. All right, so...
I don't think you can see my shirt in the camera.
No one wants to.
Yeah. And then Dan's got very dapper, and then I'm kind of somewhere in between. Anyway, we started researching this right around about the end of June, or I'm sorry, not end of May.
It was like the
End of
beginning
May.
of June.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
around there.
But yeah, initially we were kind of on the fence about this, but as we started digging in, it just got weirder and weirder, and we thought, what a good start to the episode. So I know you were kind of on the fence.
Yeah, I was a little. I mean, it just, whenever it deals with cult suicides, I mean, you have one lunatic that brainwashes, a few people, 100 people or whatever. But this one, because of the content of what he was, preaching to these people, it did because I remember the story when it happened, but when you dig into it a little more,
Yeah.
you see that there's a lot of stuff to it. There's a lot of details to this that make it more of an interesting story with the UFO and,
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Man of many words.
Yes, he is.
Well, I mean, like we had said, it's kind of crazy when you get into like the level of the people, just the fact that they're intelligent, computer programmers, and like even a politician.
Yeah, it was a representative, John Craig, from the Colorado House of Representatives. Not the country, but the state of Colorado.
Yeah, it's still high.
Politician.
High
Yeah.
enough. I mean, I'm
Right.
not saying that they're all intelligent, but
Right.
you'd think to make it that far, you'd at
Yeah.
least have to have a little bit of your own will.
And this guy brainwashed him even into thinking that this stuff, is real. And it's amazing when someone can brainwash another individual, especially like you said, they're intelligent. They're not, idiots.
And the crazy thing about it is it's kind of just like preaching another religion, a new religion.
Right.
You talk about the next level, the higher place, anywhere across the board. If you do this, you'll be rewarded with this.
Right.
And it's like any religion. Religion's not really my thing. I find it hard to believe, and a lot of people nowadays are coming around to that thought as well. I mean, it's 2018, and when this
Right.
happened in 93,
97.
Wow. When this happened in 97, I mean, it was still pretty much on the rise. Like, people are looking more into atheism and science, and this guy is basically preaching a new religion that an alien behind a comet is going to come pick you up, and everybody was like, hell yeah, sign me up.
And the thing, too, is talk about the guy being ahead of his time, though, using the internet in its early days to preach to the other people, preach to people out there in the internet world to try to, I mean, now that's commonplace on the internet. But back in 97, where the internet was still, it was not new, but it was still, people were, it was in its infancy or whatever you want to call it.
I wonder how much of that was him, though, and it wasn't the programmers like, there's this new thing.
But it was his idea, probably. It was his idea to
I
go
know
out
maybe
there.
it was somebody else's idea, but he said throw gas on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, He probably was like, what's an internet?
Oh,
'cause he
right,
was like
right.
400 years old when that happened. So
Well, and as I started watching some of the videos that they were that they had put out there, he had mentioned that he didn't earn his container or his body until the 70s. So as far as he was concerned, there was a different person in that body until the 70s. It just got more and more bizarre.
I mean, if you just look at his eyes, and I'm not even being like insulting, like he's got those crazy eyes.
Right.
Like there is some weirdness going on behind that.
I do remember you, like, as we were researching it, though, you're like, he seems like a genuinely nice person. Like, in
Right,
the sense
'cause-
that he didn't think that he was hurting anybody.
He doesn't come across of saying like, do this or you're gonna, I'm gonna punish you. Like
Right.
he didn't like threaten people as opposed to like other cults like Jonestown.
Right.
Do this, and then they end up getting shot.
They get shot if they didn't do it. And
you
he let
know.
the one guy
Yeah.
leave a couple weeks before.
Right.
Rio
Right.
D'Angelo.
Yeah,
so
he let him go.
let him go.
And there was another guy in the video that they had parted ways with, and then he had, reconnected with, and he ended up killing himself along with everyone else. So
Oh, there was 2 guys in the hotel room that did it.
yeah, after the fact too.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
but so yeah, and there was as far as the video goes, there were some discrepancies potentially. Like even there's stories of how they met, and like the official story was that they met while he was in a mental institution and she was his nurse, or a nurse that had worked there. Another thing that I had read though, that he was a music teacher at a college. He was a professor of music, and he had met her through doing that as well. So but either way, they said they had some sort of cosmic connection when they met each other, which was again bizarre to begin with, but
So she planted the seed into an already fragile, a guy that was already going through all kind of, mental issues. And that's the thing when you have someone that, she brainwashed him into believing this, and then he just carried it on.
Does it lead back to her really? That
Right.
nobody ever really talks about her.
They talk about him because he's the one that finished the whole thing up.
Yes, that's interesting.
It also makes you wonder if she wouldn't have died, like, would it just been like a business that kept going, or would she have actually gone through with the suicide as well?
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
But I mean, she did state that the doctors were ignorant, so
Right.
I don't know.
Well, they were pretty right because
And then
spot on.
and then Applewhite had to explain that to the followers why she died first. So he had to come up with some convoluted reasoning why. What was the reasoning again? I can't remember. Why she went before him.
Oh, I think they just adjusted their doctrine.
Yeah,
Okay,
the guidelines.
that's what they did?
He just kind of took over and was like, I'm gonna
Change
mold
this.
this a little bit, because he was like, oh
Because she was supposed to die with him.
yeah,
at
it
the
was
same
kind of like, we read that wrong.
Yeah.
This is what's supposed to happen.
The doctors are idiots now.
Right.
That's blaming them. Right.
Yeah. I wanted to go on to just talk about some of the things that they did to get to that next level, and some things just as bizarre as getting castrated in Mexico to reduce your sex drive to live a pure lifestyle.
Chemically castrated.
What's-
Just make that known. That's
Yeah. So I don't understand how that works.
That's like if you would take whatever drugs they give you and it actually kill off like your testicles,
Oh, wow.
as opposed to like physically just
Like they
chopping
do
them
in
off.
third world country.
Yeah, because when you get chemically castrated, like that can be reversible.
Okay.
So
Really?
yeah,
Oh, I guess, like I said, it probably just kind of shuts them down. But I'm sure there's.
I don't know if it's
again, I'm not a
more
doctor.
so of like a suppression of the actual hormones or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you chop them off, they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you're John Wayne Bobbitt right there.
All right, Dan. So for this episode, we're gonna do an experiment, Dan.
Hey, not
Go
me,
ahead,
man.
pull them out. All right, but yeah, and so just giving up possessions. On one of the documentaries that Nat Geo did, they had recordings from family members that had tried to call and reach out to some of these people, and they're like, "Hey, come home for Christmas," and they just kept saying no. So they essentially became, I guess you would say, like gypsies in a kind of a way, where like they just, or vagabonds, I
Living
mean,
very nicely as gypsies toward the
or
end there.
transients. I don't know what the right word for that is.
Well, I
but-
don't think that they were really living very nicely though.
I
'cause
meant, well, in that mansion. I meant.
yeah, in a mansion, but you saw
Yeah.
the pictures of it. It was like bunk beds.
Right, that's
Well,
true.
yeah, so they put
Yeah.
a mattress on top of a table.
Yeah, I mean it's not like they were, in a,
$7,000 a month.
for lack of a
that goes
better
really
words, living high off the hog.
quick. Right.
Yeah, I guess maybe they just needed that mansion for the space and not for, the lavish lifestyle.
Because
But-
technically they're also running a business out of it. 'Cause-
Well, yeah. It was funny, too. Well, not funny, but, like, weird in the fact that when they were giving their goodbye statements, one of the ladies who had ran the business was like, well, sorry, we're not going to be able to finish your website for you. We're going away, so.
And why did they have to, though? I mean, think about it for a second. They don't care how they're living, like you said. Why did they need to rent a $7,000 it's a month. Not was it 9,000 square foot home?
Yeah,
Yeah,
9,000.
7,000 a month.
7,000 a month. Why did they could have just rented a bungalow? I mean, even though there's
Well,
39 of them,
yeah,
who cares?
You
Toward the
can't
end,
fit 40 people in a bungalow.
no, I'm not a bungalow, but you can fit them in a mansion that doesn't have to be.
That is
That
a
ain't-
mansion.
yeah.
What do you
Where you
consider a
going?
mansion?
You can have a fucking 4,000 square foot home that doesn't cost that kind of money that you can
But
still
you
have.
can't fit 40 people in a
The hell
4,000
you
square.
could. If
no,
you could.
Okay, we're not talking about clown car here. Like, I'm sure in that mansion they were at least comfortable. They had a little bit of space. 4,000 square foot home.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is, why would they need to be comfortable?
What about the shitter, man? Like,
My point is, if they're willing to die, they know they're going to die. Why the hell were they spending that much
Actually,
money on a mansion?
let's pull it up. That
See my
house
point?
probably had like 9 bedroom or bathrooms.
Oh, it probably did, and I'm just saying.
yeah, here, hold on, let me fact checker. It's a 7-bedroom mansion. So
Okay, so there you go.
a 9,200 square foot 7-bedroom mansion in one of the nicest communities in San Diego went for a mere $668,000. They said, is it on a giant sinkhole or did something horrific happen here? And then they go into the story of Heaven's Gate. But yeah, geez,
If you really think about it, for 40 people, 7 bedrooms isn't that many.
no, that's
So
what I'm saying.
There's
like,
my point. That goes back to my point of they could have just rented a standard house with. You can get a nice house with 5-6 bedrooms, that you don't have to pay that kind of money for.
But this
Yeah.
house probably also has like giant living room, giant family room,
True,
so you could
true.
fit a bunch of other people.
they could do their meetings and stuff like that. And yeah, that's a
God
good point.
knows whatever the else they did.
their website is still up to date right now. You can still go on their website. It does say here,
You joined, didn't you, Buddha? You
Yes.
didn't join that?
Yes.
I thought so.
Red Alert in Comic Sans or something very similar to. But Hail Bop brings closure to Heaven's Gate. What was another interesting thing while we were researching this was like the 2 astronomers that found it. One Alan Hale, when he initially saw it, he said, and it became a confirmed thing. He was like, there's going to be something crazy that's going to happen in conjunction with people being able to see this.
And he said that a couple years before it even happened.
Yeah, like 2 years
Right.
beforehand. So,
Right.
which is
He predicted that.
I
I mean, if you think about it, though, there's been so many issues throughout history of people making sacrifices to the sun. Like, it's always got something to do with the solar system or the stars. Like, I don't know. I guess
And putting a
it's-
UFO up in space makes
yeah, like
sense.
it's
I mean,
not really that weird for him to say that, even as a joke. If he's
Right.
like, this is going to be bad, and then a couple years later.
here's an off the wall thing, but like, okay, so the world didn't get recycled, obviously.
It should.
But what happens? What if he was actually right, though? If you think about that, like, what if the body was a container for the soul, and God really was an alien? Like, the only thing that he got wrong was that Earth was going to be recycled.
And that goes back to people believing that when you die, your spirit leaves your body. It's almost the same kind of concept.
And
right?
It's exactly the same
It is.
concept.
And so, but the other weird thing about it is that on a lot of the UFO stuff that I've looked up over, the last 10, 15 years, and I'm not like a total expert on this, but, I've read that government reports have stated that is the actual fact. And so if he's saying it and the government has narrowed it down to that, that's pretty odd. Again, it could be all bullshit, but the fact that like we're just here as an experiment, and someone hit the nail on the head, but he's the crazy one. So if you were to flip this thing totally on its head,
The guy doesn't sound like an idiot by any way, shape, or form. He sounds very intelligent. Wasn't he a teacher and
he was a professor of music.
professor of music? Okay, so he wasn't an idiot. But he just, he was very good at brainwashing people. And I think we researched that his father was a priest, right?
Yeah, he was a
Or
Presbyterian minister. Yep.
So he learned a lot of those key words. There's a lot of key trigger words that people are able to hear and say, oh, yeah, I agree. I understand. So that's what he used, a lot of those words, and that's why he was able to brainwash these people.
All right, so you did some digging on what actually happened to the house and the property afterwards.
Right. So the original address for the house that it actually happened in was 18241 Colina Norte, Rancho Santa Fe, and that's around San Diego, California.
Right.
Attention from the media became so disruptive just from all the, press and just people that kind of wanted to see the sites, take a look at what happened, paranormal investigators, just,
Yeah.
39 dead bodies. Everybody's going to be interested in something.
Right.
I'd even take a drive past it if I was out there, just to be like,
Right.
"Oh, that's kind of weird,
Well, it's kind of like, it's like a gated community kind of deal. So it's kind of, if you look on the map, that's just a couple of houses kind of clustered together,
Yeah.
So it doesn't really have like main streets driving through. So you would have to make it a point.
to go down that way.
Right.
Right.
So attention from the media, it became such a nuisance that all the neighbors actually chipped in and bought the house. And they got it super cheap because, and I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Sam Kuchis-Fahani was the owner at the time of the suicides, but ended up losing the mansion to foreclosure. So all the neighbors were able to chip in and buy it for $668,000,
Man.
which is like pennies on the dollar for what it
Yeah,
was
that's
worth. They were
prime
worth-
real estate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And so after they, actually backpedal just a sec. The conflicting stories that I did find were all the neighbors chipped in and bought it, and then the other one was that one guy from the neighborhood bought it, but I think it was just everybody chipped in, that one guy put it in his name.
Right. Well, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
logistical sense.
It's easier
Yeah.
than 10 people on a title.
Right.
But so after the house was bought, they then later just demolished it and the land laid vacant. And obviously that stopped everybody from coming and trying to look at a house because it was gone. So in 2006, an 8,700 square foot house was built on the land, and they tried selling it and never sold until 2010 when it sold for $4.6 million.
Wow.
After the house being demolished and then a new one being put up, they decided to change the address just to stop, pretty much to erase the history of what was going on.
I mean, people still go to like the place John Lennon was killed.
The Amityville Horror House.
Yeah, people just will go
Right.
by that just to
Yeah.
go by and see it.
So the original address was 18241. It was changed to 18239, and they actually changed the name of the street to Paseo Victoria.
I remember, because I remember when we were like looking it up, you actually found the house or where it was just due to the solar panels
Right.
on the house behind it.
The house
Otherwise,
behind it,
we had a really hard time trying to like decipher where it actually was or where it stood.
Right.
Because there is a vacant lot looking type area over there. So
But that's actually in front of where the original house is.
correct.
That was me. That's actually in front of where the original house was.
Gotcha.
So as of 2018, the house is currently valued at $6.2 million.
Good.
Wow.
And it's like, it's 8,700 square foot. I think it's 7 bedroom. It's monstrous.
Like the last one that was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a little bigger.
A little bigger, yeah.
And so also too, like there's also been some weird things going on around there since then, and whether or not like it's true or not, there's been sightings of like let's see here, a person once claimed to see a ghost of a young girl with no eyes, but her eyes were floating around her body, which it doesn't make any real sense there, but
It's like,
okay.
It's like that suit from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah. A lot of other people have said that they've seen UFOs and extraterrestrial activities being around that area. And then the other thing too is one person thinks that maybe they weren't talking to an ET, but maybe something paranormal. So
What if like this whole time he was like talking to some neighbor on a ham radio? And,
I mean, that's very, very possible. Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
we did the thing with the baby monitor hacking where people,
Right.
They hear voices and it's because somebody hacked their Wi-Fi and they're talking to their
Yeah.
baby monitors.
Now most of that
or
stuff,
playing Smash Mouth through it.
most of that paranormal, accusations or things people said they claimed they saw,
Yeah.
that happened when it was just land after the thing was tore down, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That was before they built the new house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come
And-
it's always an unnamed expert? Like,
Yeah.
they want to talk about it, but they're like, I am not putting my name on
Yeah,
it.
because they probably don't want to get fired from their job or something.
Right.
People think that they're
Nuts.
yeah. So, but yeah, 39 dead people, crazy cult, UFOs, aliens. Sounds like something Type 3 would do. So, Buddha, what's your stance?
I think 39 people died that day.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I don't fucking know, dude. I think it's nuts. I think the dude, I mean, if he was right, then we all look like idiots. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he was not right.
Yeah.
We're still here. The
Yeah.
Earth did not recycle like he said it was going to. Maybe
Although
it will sometime.
It does
but
seem like it's in the process of
destroying
at least
itself.
over
Yeah.
here in America.
Yeah. I agree with him. 39 people probably died for absolutely no reason at all, and I guess they died for their own, like you said, religious beliefs or whatever they believed in. But whether they're having a happier life than us right now, who knows?
I mean, most importantly, I think just please let us know if you like Dan's shirt.
Yeah.
I like it, so that's all that freaking counts, man. And let us know about his shirt too, folks.
Yeah, loudness.
He talks about other people's shirt being loud, and his shirt actually says it.
So from everyone here at Type 3, again, if you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. We'll be here again soon with another episode of something strange, weird, or fucked up. From The Mistake on the Lake, this is Type 3 TV. Over and out.